Oh, that's a nice feature actually. I've never knew that. Oh no, it's glass. Okay. What is going on? Why is this happening? What the hell was that? On patch 1.15. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be looking to get into some Cricket 22 action. Now I know it's a little bit from the norm. We usually have a lot of WWE gaming content, however I do have a passion for cricket games and we are going to explore that a little bit more. In the past you may have seen on the channel some Cricket 19 content. Still got a fair bit of that previous content to upload, but yeah, we're gonna get into Cricket 22. It's been out for about a month and a few days. So we've had the 4th Ashes Test match just play out just only yesterday. England hung in there for the draw with one wicket remaining, and the series is now 3-0 as they head to Hobart. With that being said, we're going to get stuck into Cricket 22. Now, before we get into today's content, there is one thing in this little gameplay options menu that I really want off, because it was quite annoying in Cricket 19. I don't even know if there was a way to turn it off. If there was, please let me know. But for the emotes that just appear randomly on the screen, sort of coincide with a lot of buttons that you use whilst you're either batting, bowling or fielding, which was a pain because you'd press something and you'd get a yes in the bottom right of your screen or your bottom left of your screen. And with that, I'm going to turn the enable emotes offline off. That is no longer ticked, and hopefully we won't see that. Apologies if you do hear a humming noise throughout this video. Unfortunately, living in regional Australia during summer, and due to the temperatures being a scorcher outside, and no matter how many air conditioners, fans, portable ACs you have, it's just so warm inside. So I have an industrial fan running in the bedroom, so apologies for that humming sound in advance. So the first thing we're going to do is we are now in Cricket 22's Stadium Creator, and I have mucked around with this when it was patched in for 1.14 on PlayStation 4. I have no idea what patch number it would have been for Xbox or PS5 or Xbox Series S, Series X, etc., all the other consoles and Steam. I have no idea, but for patch 1.14, Cricket 22's Stadium Creator was implemented. So let's have a look at what it can do. So as you can see, before you get started, you can mess around with the stadium shape, which is actually not the shape at all. It remains quite circular. However, you can choose the size of that particular circle or oval. So as you can see here, that's quite a large circle, small circle, mid-size, a little bit larger, and another very small circle. So I might actually go with something, in my opinion, that's a bit on the larger side. So we're going to go with option 5 there. Okay, so in this one here, this is quite an interesting option, which I don't believe we had in Cricket 19 or any other previous cricket games with the Stadium Creator, and that's the Stadium preset. So in this option here, we have 9 different options of how your stadium would look. You have like a sort of a dome type setting there for number 7. You have something similar to the bigger stadiums there for option 8. Got another type of dome there for 9. 1 is just your club cricket ground. Option 2 there, you have a few stands, a few empty spaces. And as you can see, they're all different options. Pick whatever one you desire. For me, I'm gonna start from the ground up. So I might just go with Stadium 1, which is the bare essential. So pitch square size. You also have this in Cricket 19. You can decide on how many pitches you have on the ground. Realistically, you'd see something like option 3 there. Maybe 5, maybe 6 pitches implemented. is the standard. You do see this more overseas where there's like 10, maybe 12, maybe even 15 pitches along the ground. I don't understand the concept of having a pitch near the boundary, but whatever works. I guess they're like training pitches or something like that. You have your standard singular pitch with a little bit of grass growing on the outside of that one, and then you have 3 there. So I might just go something not too messy. I'll go with 3, which is option 2. So in this one here, it's the outfield grass style. Obviously you got your greener pitches for 1 and 2. 3, a little bit of a died down pitch, I guess you can say. Then you can see the grass starting to turn into something else out of this world. So I'm just going to go with option 2 because it's more pristine than option 1. One's a little bit too bright in my opinion. With the last 2 options, it's just the side screen, and pretty much you have your small ones, you have your large one. This is for the northern end, even though it's down the bottom for some reason. So there's your wider screen, your larger screen, no screen, small screen, also small screen. So we're going to go with the large screen for both. So in here we also have sponsors. Sponsors were a huge thing in previous cricket games. However, you've got 4 sponsors for your boards. I believe they're like fences and probably stands. We haven't even got any stands yet. We do have 1 fence. I'm not going to muck around with them. However, the field sponsor is actually that logo you can see on either side of the pitch. So if you go into here, it's just your basic generic made up logos. I am going to go core, however. And also there you got downloaded logo. So if you really want an authentic style ground and you want something with a little bit more realism, you can download your logos and they'll be in there. So we're going to go core, and then we have the side screen sponsor, which we will also go core. So same thing here, generic made up logos, and then the downloaded logos there from the community. So I'm not going to muck around on where I want this pitch exactly. I'm going to try and center it as much as possible. This is the default, but however, if you really wanted to, you could rotate your ground, which I'm learning for the first time here because there's no button down the bottom. So that's quite interesting. What did I say? The northern side was on the southern. Okay, we'll do it like that. Oh, that's a nice feature actually. I never knew that. So your trigger buttons are to rotate the ground. However, like I was saying before, you can move this stadium anywhere you want on this green round piece of grass here. So if you wanted your ground towards the road there, for example, you can put it there. Or if you wanted it, you know, not quite off the circle, but a little bit off towards centre, to the northwest, northeast, or if you wanted it southeast, southwest, etc, etc. However, I'm just going to try and place this in the centre. So that's a nice little feature you couldn't get in Cricket 19. It was pretty much exact. You couldn't really move, rotate, whatever. You just been given a small piece of grass, just enough to fill up the cricket ground and the stands. Alright, so what we're going to do here, we're not going to go into too much detail, into too much fancy smancy, but we are going to start on our stands, and as you can see here, there are squares all around the ground. Singular squares all around the ground. Now this represents a single stand piece. So if you want it, there's probably over a dozen stand pieces, but if you wanted a different stand on each bit of ground there, each bit of real estate, you can. Or if you're not into that, if you want it to go multiple, what you do is you press X on PlayStation. I'm assuming that's A for Xbox, or whatever designated button that may be. You click on one piece and then you go over, press X, and that will bring up multiple stand pieces. So I'll just show you an example. So in this example, we've got about 2/3 of our stadium here that we're going to change and make it one singular stand all around the ground. So let's get into it. Alright, so very similar to Cricket 19. However, as you can see here, for the green bits we've just chosen 2/3 of the ground. This will apply to all of these parts that we are changing. So if we go into stand type, alright, so you have no stands, you've got the small little club cricket stands there, I guess you can call, like seats, and then you have a dome-like setting there, buildings, more stands, bigger stands. So we're going to go with this option here, I think. So in the offset settings, you could choose how close or far you want your stance to be from the fence. So here, I believe this is the closest one. You've got mid-range and you've got far back, and as you can see in these sort of stand types here, it's actually separated the stands because I think they're more aligned if they're closer to the ground. In Cricket 19, if you're putting two stands, you know, similar to one another to a certain ground type, they would stick together. But because these are being chosen all together and we've decided to move them back, they're going to split apart because of the way the circle and the ground is. So we're going to go as close as the ground as possible. They're all interconnected there. Let's have a look at tiers. So into tiers now, you have your single standard tier that we've chose for the stand type, and then we have another row above for option 2 and option 3. You've got 3 sets of tiers. So we're going to go 3 sets of tiers, I think, in my opinion. Now we have the roof variation. Let's see what roof variations we have for these sets of tiers. Alright, so you've got pretty standard cricket ground tier roofs. That one's got like a... let's have a look. Fucking... Excuse me. One's got like a grating-like setting, so it's sort of like... Oh no, it's glass. Okay. Okay, so it's like a... It's either glass or plastic. It's got something there to stop the rain, I guess, for lucky patrons who are underneath that. Don't actually like that one. This one has a dome type approach. I think we might go for something like that. So I'm not the biggest fan of that look, but I'm going to go for it. Alright, so in here we have fences. You've got your white picket fence. So you've got your standard pool fence there. More of a mesh type fence. And you have your concrete bollard fence with a little bit of steel on top, or you could have no fence at all. So we might just go with the steel grated fence, and remember that these fences will only apply to the stands that we've chosen. So if you want to continue that sort of fence type, you'll have to choose these as you go later on. Alright, so in this option here you can have light tower types. It's quite awkward to have that many light towers in one spot. I'm not a fan of that. But like, you could also deselect and choose what part of the grounds, what part of the stands I should say, you want to put a light tower over. But that's just some examples. You've got your smaller lighting there, then you have your big floodlights up there. But like I said, you can get out of the multi option of choosing multiple stands, and you could head into a single stand and put a light tower behind it, which we will do later on. Okay, so this is a nice little touch here in tier variation. Okay, so in there you've got your normal sets of tunnels, and if you go to option 2, you have a tunnel that comes from the back of the stadium, regularly where players would usually come out from. If they're locker rooms, like inside of the stadium and they don't have their own separate building, you'll see that. What's a fine example of a tunnel? What, MCG? Quote me if I'm wrong. Where they'll go in and out of the tunnel, head back through the walkway all the way to their locker rooms. As you can see there, multiple stands are selected, so multiple tunnels are employed. I'm not going to choose this option. I'll add my own tunnels later on. So in these tier 2 and 3 variations, there's not much difference. You could either choose to have, I guess they are skyboxes, something similar to resemble skyboxes, or you could just have your normal seating plan. So I'm just going to go normal seating plan, but I will show you what they look like in the purpose of this video, for the purpose of this video. Okay, so interesting thing to point out here is fence sponsors. I'm not going to add any personally to this stadium for today, but however you can have single or multiple sponsors, or even a LED board for your stadium, which is a pretty cool touch when you think about it. I'll probably add them to a stadium in the future. I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Alright, some more cool features to your ground is you can change the colours of certain parts of your tiers. So if you wanted something that resembles a red, say you might have a cricket club's home ground that their home team's colour is red, and you want the stadium to resemble something of that nature, you could make your concrete parts of the tunnels and the fenceway red if you really wanted to. I'm not going to do that, however. I'm just going to use that as an example. Let's see what this changes. Let's see. I can't see any change. What have I changed there? Alright, so I don't know what the secondary colour is meant to represent. Oh, hold on. No. I suppose with different variations you may be able to see the colour adjusted. I just can't seem to see what the secondary colour of this specific stand variation is. So if you muck around on your Cricket 22, you might be able to get a secondary colour. I guess my tiers don't resemble any secondary colour here unless I'm doing something wrong. Let's go into the third option. Alright, so in the third option, as you can see, as I change the colour, parts of the tiers will change, and that is a really nice effect. As much as all them colours look amazing, I'm just going to leave it as black for now. Alright, so we have set up part of our grounds. I don't think I've actually centered this ground correctly, so if I can somehow move this a little bit more towards center. I'm definitely not a perfectionist, so that will do for now, and let's get on with the rest of the ground. Alright, so all we have to do now is name it, choose our north-south ends, location and city, pretty much similar settings to Cricket 19. We also have the environment back into play here, which is the scenery rings. I'm not going to change it here, but it's pretty similar to Cricket 19 and previous cricket games. So you got your hill settings, you got your plain settings, you got buildings. We also have like cities in the background, as you can see here. We look like we're in the middle of a suburban area. Pretty cool features there. I won't go through them in this video, however, you'll have to muck around with them yourself. And the return of our structures, furniture, vehicles and vegetation. Vegetation being trees and plants. Vehicles, that's pretty obvious what that is. Furniture is pretty much your setups like gazebos, tables, chairs, etc, etc. The things you see at club games pretty much. And in structures, it's pretty much self-explanatory, just buildings, houses and club sheds, stuff like that. Alright, so I'm going to give this stadium we have created in Stadium Creator here on Cricket 22 a name. I'm just going to leave the north and south end as is. I'm going to leave it in Australia, and I might change up the city to represent the home team, because we're going to play a very quick matchup in just a few moments time. Alright, so there it is. It is based in Brisbane. We're going to call it the Brisbane Bowl for now. And now we're going to head over to a quick
game. It's actually going to be 1 over apiece. We're going to play the full game. I've decided to go 1 over per side because I have previously recorded a 5-5 matchup, which will be uploaded on the channel very, very soon. But for now, we'll head down to the ground and get into our 1 over matchup. Alright, so here we go, guys. Our 1 over game from the custom created Brisbane Bowl, as we've got the Queensland Bulls taking on the Western Australian team. So 6 balls aside. Queensland Bulls, Western Australia. Here we go. Let's see how well we fare. And I've just gone for the Marsh Cup lineups for both teams. So you got Kawaja, Burns in the Queensland Bull side, and a few other great players in that lineup. I only took a quick glance at that team, however. It's not going to really matter. I don't think we're going to go right through the order. Western Australia have called from the coin toss. Western Australia won the toss. What are they going to do on the flat track here at the Brisbane Bowl? Of course, they're going to have a smack. They're going to have a go at it. They've chosen the bat. They have 6 balls to pull out all the goods here. And we'll have to chase down whatever they make within these 6 balls. High pressure situation as we got Sandhu bowling the first ball here on the Brisbane Bowl, and oh my, Philippe, 4 runs straight away, not mucking around. Wow. So I've decided to go for the new bowling system here on Cricket 22. Because I do like the idea. However, it sort of takes away from the randomness and the challenging aspect. However, you have more control of where the ball wants to go. You've got more attempts at swing or spin if you're a spinner. So I do like that. Oof, see the ball drifting away. Maybe it's a bit too much sometimes, but it is fun. Sort of reminds me of older cricket games that passed in the past, such as Ricky Ponting, Cricket 05 and 07. Oh, yes. Even EA Sports Cricket 07, as Philippe goes for another boundary. And Sandhu feeling it here. However, for the batting, we have decided to go with the right stick controls. The classic, so to speak. For the Big Ants Cricket Series, ranging back to Don Bradman 14, as Philippe goes for another boundary. We're pretty much bowling some right arm rubbish here, which is fine. We're only giving you guys an opportunity to see what Cricket 22 presents. This is currently patch 1.15. Patch 1.16 is currently downloading. That huge patch 1.14 with the inclusion of the Stadium Creator in full effect. So videos in the future will include the 1.16 patch. However, 1.15 and 1.16 were quite small patch downloads. So probably stability, bugs, game crashing, prevention fixes, I guess you can call them, for them, I would assume. And straight on the stumps there, no run out mechanic, however, but that's fine. So Western Australia have made 16 runs. We need to chase 17 in 6 balls. Can we do it? As Josh Philippe smacks the ball all the way to the boundary. Every chance presented to him. Only a few dot balls there in that 6 ball over. 6 balls for the innings. A rarity in any sort of cricket game. I don't think I've ever seen a 1 over game. I've seen super overs, however. I guess this is some sort of influence from a super over. This game setting. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm just rambling on. As you can see, Josh Philippe 16 from 6. Great strike rate. Sean Marsh didn't even get an opportunity to swing his bat in this innings. Brother Mitch Marsh, Josh Inglis, Ashton Turner, Darcy Short, some great players there. Agar, Cameron Green, who's currently playing for the Test in the Ashes series. Many great talents there weren't utilised because it was only a 6-ball game. Santu, 1 over, none for 16. Still thinking about how great Josh Philippe was smacking around that ball. So, 17 runs to win. Let's get into it, guys. Let's not muck around any longer. Alright, Hazlitt in the attack. Going to face the first ball from Jason Behrendorff. Here we go. Oh, and that's not a great start. Hold on 1 second. Maybe when I was turning the commentary off, I did mess up the controls by the looks of it. What? I've been in this menu many a times, and I still get myself confused. This one, yes. Pro Classic. So the classic controls. My apologies there, we wasted one delivery.
Yep.
And he's going to make up for it. It's going to go over that fielder's head, and it's going to be 4 runs straight out of the gate. Well, 1 ball past the opening gate. Hazlitt all the way for 4. Usman Khawaja at the other end there. Also a part of the current Ashes series.
Yep.
And, ooh, did that carry? And what is going on? Why is this happening? Why did Khawaja run? I said no. I pressed the circle to make sure there was no running involved. Then Khawaja says, hell to the no. Decides to run anyway. Bad decision. Realises it 3/4 of the way up the track and gets run out by the wicketkeeper. What the hell was that? On patch 1.15. I did not press the run button. What the hell do you call that? And out for a diamond duck, Usman Khawaja. Wow. What the hell was that? As we see Marnus Labuschagne making his way to the crease here. And we need 13 from 3. It's definitely doable if Behrendorff can bowl in the right areas to me. Oh, and I decide to go for the hook. Instead, the input decides to leave the ball. 13 from 2. We are absolutely screwed now, but we're going to give it a go. Let's have a go at this. I mean, if we get a no ball, we might be able to somehow make it over. I doubt it, but 4 more. What a stinker. Bam, full toss. Hits it round the corner. 4 more. And Western Australia have already won this contest. Where's he gonna go? Short. That's what I wanted to do originally. With the short one. And that time it goes. But it's too little, too late. 1 for 12 it is. Well, it wasn't really a hook or a pull. Oh no, it was a bit of a hook shot, sorry. I am absolutely seeing things. I still can't get over the way Usman Khawaja has run out. But that's going to do it here. As you can see, Western Australia winning by 4 runs. Why is that text so small? Can someone explain that? No one seems to have complained about that text being that small. I don't like it. If you win, you should take up the entire bar, like in Cricket 19. And there's the run out. Uzi or should I say the AI, I'm not going to blame Kawaja there, the AI decides to take off 3/4 down the track. Me hitting the circle button repeatedly here on PS4, trying to get Uzi back, but it was too little too late, and then Hazlitt getting as many runs as possible, but it wasn't enough to topple the WA team as Queensland Bulls lose their first game here at the Brisbane Bowl. 1 for 12 was the final score. Western Australia none for 16. Josh Philippe, man of the match for his 16 not out off 6. Brilliant performance. As you can see, Jason Baradoff none for 12. That's all we really need to see there. We'll go over the scorecard, however. There we go, 16 from 6 for Western Australia. Josh Philippe getting all the runs. Sandu bowling 1 over, none for 16. In the batting innings, Hazlitt 12 off 6. Yes, you are reading that correctly. Usman Khawaja, 0 balls faced for a diamond duck. Run out by Inglis. Unbelievable stuff here at the G. Oh, not really at the G, at the B, at the bowl. And Marnus Labuschagne getting in there. Didn't have an opportunity to bat. Jason Baradoff, 1 over. Great bowling, none for 12. Oh, well, it was a little bit rubbish, let's admit it. But it was enough to keep Queensland at bay. And that's going to do it here on the channel for our first look at Cricket 22. Have a great day, night, wherever you may be. There'll be more content to come in the near future here on youtube.com/outrageous receiver. And we'll see you all later on. Bye, everyone.